All right, are we live? I think we are live. Hey, how's it going there, sir? This is Brian, aka Uncle B. I'm the men's performance coach with GoodWood. Hey, I want to welcome you to the show. This is GoodWood University, and this is what we do. We help men overcome all types of erection issues, erectile dysfunction, any issues you're having with your sexual health. That's what we do over here. I've been doing this for like 25 years, and I really like helping people out, and so that's why I do this. This is special. Typically, we go live during the day, but I want to test out other times, see what works for guys. And if you could go ahead and go to the comment section, leave me your name, where you representing, so I know who I'm talking to, so we can get a good discussion here. That's one of the things that we do. We talk. If you got questions, let me know. I've been doing this for, like I said, 25 years, so I got a lot of answers. And if you're sitting here, you're like, oh man, it doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes it does work. Sometimes it doesn't. That's why we're going to get into those issues today. In particular, we're going to talk about your blood flow. We're going to talk about how to get your blood flow circulating, percolating, so everything works the way that it's supposed to work. Yeah. What's good? Dan Arlington, Virginia is in the house. Isaac. Oh, all right. Good to see you again, Sir Isaac. Sir Isaac. Good to see you. Yeah. Today we're going to get into it. Last Saturday, we tried going live, in terms of having the ability to call in. A lot of guys don't like to necessarily cam up and talk about stuff, but, we wanted to give you the capacity to call in. And, what we're going to do today, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about how to increase that blood flow. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and put that into the comment section at any time. Any special announcements to make? No, just, the regular stuff. Go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all that good stuff. So I want to go ahead and hop into it. Please hop in with your questions. But today we're talking about blood flow. Hugely important. What are we talking about? Men's sexual health, your health overall. We're liquid. We're mostly liquid, and so your blood has to flow correctly, especially when you're talking about your erections, because the blood vessels down in your penis, they are some of the thinnest in your body. Only one platelet of blood is going through. So if your blood is sticky, if your blood vessels aren't healthy, then you're going to have erection issues. So that's why we're going to be talking about that today. We want to talk about what you need to do to get more health, get more energy, get stronger erections, and of course, avoid erectile dysfunction or overcome erectile dysfunction. And today specifically we're going to talk about the main factors in blood flow, which of course, we're talking about the movement in itself, and we're going to talk about some things that just work, just period. It's amazing. A lot of times we get into that mindset that you got to have pills, you got to have things of that nature, but that's not what's necessary. What is necessary is for you to get back to nature, for real. And in that way, you'll be able to get your blood flowing without a whole bunch of. You'll be able to get your blood flowing without a whole bunch of. Let me see, what's the word I'm looking for? Pills. Yeah, artificial stuff. You don't need that stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. So the main factors in blood movement, the condition of your blood vessels. This part is really important because if you don't have good, strong blood vessels, it's hard for your blood to move. If you don't have blood movement, then there's no motion. It's a downward spiral from there. And if things get clogged up, it takes longer for it to remove. We're talking about, you got a blood vessel sitting right there. If it's coated on the side, if you have a whole bunch of issues, blood won't flow through. And you also get your nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a little gas that actually pushes the blood through. A lot of people think, our heart just pumps blood, but we have millions of miles of blood vessels in our body, and it's not just the heart pumping all of that out. It's actually nitric oxide that's pushing it through. The nitric oxide is in your cell walls, and it actually helps things move through, blood move through. So and we're also going to talk about the condition of your blood, because your blood platelets can stick together. That's where we talk about you're not getting enough oxygen in your blood So they stick together, and that causes even more problems. And if this is an issue, then your organs are going to have an issue. It's a downward spiral from there. Your muscles are not going to get better. You're going to lose muscles, and basically, at the end of the day, the whole point of blood flow is movement, as in you need to be alive. If you're not alive, you're just stiff. You'll notice that about dead people. They don't move too much unless they're in a zombie movie. But outside of that, you have to get your blood flowing so it moves. And we're going to talk about the things that you need to be aware of. And one of the issues that a lot of people get stuck in is taking the medications for blood flow. That's one of the things I think is really it's not a good look. It's never a good look, because one of the things, we're talking about, obviously, the different medications can get you addicted. And when I say addicted, I don't mean just in the mental, it's like the psychological addictiveness, but also just in a thought pattern of like, oh, I've talked to guys who, even after their blood flow is cleared up and everything, they still have this need to, I have to take this pill. I have to take this pill. No, you need to take some fruit. You need to eat wet food. Wet food for humans is fruits and vegetables. And if you're eating just dry foods like the pill, you're causing more problems. And this is going to lead into lifestyle issues, that downward spiral. We're talking about aches, pains, doctors, pills, surgery, hospital, all of that stuff. And let's talk about one of the things that we don't necessarily talk about in the health style on that is that you got to pay for all that. Yeah, some way or another. That your insurance, pay out the mortgage, the house for that surgery, your insurance bill, all of this stuff is going to cause more issues. So let's go ahead and get into the blood flow that you're supposed to be paying attention to. Hey, what's going on, David? Memphis, Tennessee is in the house. C, good to see you again, man. Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah, I had a good time with your man, Little John, doing the show yesterday. Anyway, the blood flow, the vital 11. Yeah. So one of the things, just break it all down. This is just hit you with the top 11. We're going to get into why you need to be paying attention to this. So if you're trying to increase your blood flow, you have to pay attention to deep breathing. Not only your heart, not only nitric oxide, but obviously your lungs. Try not breathing for a good 2 or 3 minutes and see how your blood flow works. It's not working at all. Also, your fluid intake. We're going to be talking about what you eat. That's highly important. The herbs that you take. Most herbs are going to be helpful in that manner. Obviously, sleep. We got to talk about that. Exercise. That's sort of obvious, but even a little bit less obvious in it is yoga. And we're going to explain why. Muscle relaxation. We're going to talk about just basically taking a break and massaging, and also taking a break from smoking. All right. So let's go ahead and get into, first of all, that deep breathing. This is something I do on the regular. This is something to stay calm, because basically we're in that fight or flight state all the time, just because we got so many bills, so many different things are going on. And when it comes down to it, you're so stressed that your blood isn't moving. Your blood actually goes to parts of your body that needs to be functioning in order for you to flight or fight. And part of that is going to your brain. So all this blood flow is going into your brain, and that's because you're stressed out. There's not a lion there. It's a Netflix bill. But, you still have a level of chronic stress. And so deep breathing gets rid of that. Breathing is free. Suck it in. Just like that. There are quite a few breathing techniques that you can use. I'll actually give you one right quick a little bit later. Because when you're doing all that good breathing, you're getting oxygen into that blood flow. Remember, I was saying your blood platelets are sticking together because you don't have the oxygen to separate, and it's not healthy. And one of the big things that people don't think about is when you're breathing out waste. Whenever someone says, I lost weight, it's like, how did you lose it? And a lot of times when I was sweating and I went to the bathroom. Nah, you're losing most of your waste or weight is going out through your breath. That doesn't mean you like hyperventilate and lose weight. You just knock yourself out. You actually have to do exercise, and your body has to be in the right process in order for you to breathe out the proper amount of waste and get things working. What's going on, D-Wit? We got Toronto in the house. Toronto, Canada. Joe, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Trinidad, he said that. Caribbean is in the house. Water, obviously, that's a huge one. And when we're talking about water, we're talking about the actual water, not water from sugar drinks. So the water in Coca-Cola doesn't count, nor does the water in orange juice count. We're talking about just getting straight water. And one of the things that if you don't have the right amount of water, you'll actually get more anxious, which is puts you in that downward spiral because now you're anxious, you're not breathing as well, you're going down the wrong direction. You have fear, insecurity. I mean, think about it. If you're not breathing correctly, then your body's like, hey, something's wrong, and it just goes into its own mode. So that's the reason why you need that water intake. It all ties in together. Yes, yes. Welcome, everybody. We just got here. Today, we are talking about how to increase your blood flow naturally. My name is Brian, a.k.a. Uncle B, and this is what we do, helping guys out. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell to get more of this info. All right. One way to tell whether or not you're getting the right amount of water in is to basically just look at your weight. When you go to the bathroom, your piss should be light pale. If you're getting a dark yellow or syrupy or something like that, that means that you don't have enough water. And remember, your body is 60% water. Your bones is 31% water. Your lungs is 83% water, and your blood is 92% water. So you have a whole bunch of water going through your entire body. It's good to get that going. The better the water source you have, that's helpful. But I wouldn't bypass water. If all I have is tap, hopefully it's healthy tap. You're in a good area, but that's better than not having water in your system. And the thing to think about, though, is how else can you get water? The main way that humans typically get water is through our food. Unfortunately, we're eating dry food. That's what processed means. Processed means it's dry. Think about it. Go to the grocery store, you got 1 hour, nothing but fruits and vegetables and all the healthy stuff. And the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 hours is full of stuff that's dead. It's all processed, and you're taking dry stuff, putting it into your body, and it's actually drying you out. It's not actually helping you. Peaches, mangoes, pineapples, those are 80% water. And we talk about melons, it's 90%. I am now on a watermelon kick. For real, for real. My man Vance, we bounce ideas off of each other, and he got onto this whole thing of just go to the grocery store, get a bowl of watermelons, and he takes that in, and I was like, well, let me try that. I've been trying that, and it's magnificent because I do a lot of stretching, so I can tell I stretch first thing in the morning. So when I stretch doing yoga, things like that, when I'm drier, I can fit this. I got cracks and stuff. It's a little bit more stuff. After having watermelon and, the Super Bowl was yesterday. I didn't have the greatest of diets. Let's just say that. I didn't know. Super Bowl is the second most feasting that we do after Thanksgiving. So I was partaking, unfortunately, but because I had so much watermelon, when I woke up and I did my yoga and everything like that, I noticed that I was more flexible. So when you have that water in you, you actually get more flexible. And when you get it from a natural source like fruits and vegetables, you get all the minerals and everything like that. It actually stays in your body a little bit longer, along with all the fiber and all that good stuff. You get more flexible. So get to those fruits and vegetables. Let's go ahead and talk about some herbs. Everybody likes to get some herbs. I like to get herbs. So for herbs that are helpful for your circulation, ginger is on the top of the list. I actually have, my morning tea. This is leftover. I have my morning tea. I got my ginger in there and my maca green tea in there. That's what I do first thing in the morning. I just chop up some slivers of ginger, put that in there, and get your body moving. All right, Gold Cola. It decreases blood pressure in the veins, which is helpful for that blood flow. Cayenne pepper. It aids in that digestion, and of course, because it has that heat, it helps with circulation. And thyme and turmeric. When you're getting turmeric, especially the natural kind of turmeric, you want to add black pepper with that. You just get the cracked black pepper, however you're going to, take it in, whether you make a little tea out of it. With that, it actually activates the turmeric and it gets more of that blood flowing. All right. What's going on? J10H in the house. I got you, man. I'm gonna get that answer. Odessa, Guyana. Oh God, we international, baby. International. So J10 is asking, is bottled water okay? Yes and no. Okay, let's break this down. The issue with bottled water, especially plastic bottled water, is that it stays in the. If you have it in the sun, the plastic can leach into the water. They've been changing. They've been trying to improve, but it's still plastic. Plastic is literally a dangerous substance if consumed, and the chemical because of the chemicals in there. If you have it in the heat, it's going to leach into the water, and it's been shown to cause all types of issues. Once again, I'd rather you have water than not have water, but you have to be careful with your source. Even with what I have here, this is actually I got this from Amazon, but this lining in here, this is that aluminum. It's basically BPH free, and that's what we're worried about. We're worried about the BPH, that particular chemical that gets into the water and causes all types of things, especially for us gentlemen. Uh huh. Great question, man. As always, great question. Appreciate you. Let me see. Hmm. Okay, Justin Sports. I got you, man. That's a deep question. I wanna go through this and get to tenderness post hernia. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. We got another quick question. This one I do want to answer. I will get back to you, Justin Sports. Can watermelon increase your testosterone? Yes, but we're talking about a lot of fruits and vegetables work in a roundabout way. With this, it actually starts the process. We're talking about L-arginine, L-citrulline. That's the reason why they call it the Viagra. Watermelon is the Viagra of fruits. Nature's Viagra, they would say. Because of that, because it's going to increase nitric oxide, it's going to increase the blood flow. It just basically it works. And as far as your testosterone is concerned, once you have that blood flow going, it's going to trickle over into your testosterone. So it doesn't have a direct effect on your testosterone, but it does have a side benefit. If you're trying to get good erections, you need both testosterone and that blood flow. And me personally, I consistently take GoodWood. For those guys who don't know, GoodWood is an all-natural liquid aphrodisiac. I'm the coach for GoodWood. And this is what we do because it's a supplement. It's supposed to supplement the other things you do. So I'm telling you the other things you do. When you add watermelon while taking GoodWood, yeah, 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 yeah. It just works. GoodWood is going to help with your blood flow and your testosterone, and this just pushes the testosterone even further. So, yeah, you want that in your life. All right, great question, guys. Keep them coming. Uh-huh. All right. Joe has a good question from Mississippi. Let me get back to that. I want to get through this blood flow, but his question is related to blood flow. Gotcha. Gotcha, Joe. All right. Let's talk about sleep right quick. So sleep is hugely important. It's way more important than a lot of people think. Unfortunately, we're surrounded by lights and activities and everything like that. And so back in the day when it got dark, there was nothing else to do because it was dark. It's like stay outside and get eaten or something like that, get attacked. But when you got dark, basically it was like, okay, it's time to go to sleep. And they have this thing called second sleep. So basically, let's say you're in the U.S., we're in winter right now, depending on where you are, how the sun rises. But if the sun is setting at around 5 o'clock, typically you're going to sleep about 8 o'clock because there's nothing else to do. And people will wake back up around 12, 1 o'clock, and then they go back to sleep in about an hour or two. They literally have Bible verses for second sleep. That's what that's called. So we're completely out of what nature has intended for us. And our sleep is our repair mode. Poor sleep can lead to a buildup in arteries in the arteries of your cholesterol, fats, and other substances that causes the arteries to harden, and that restricts the blood flow. That's the reason why you need sleep, among a bunch of other reasons to get that blood flow. One study showed that less than 6 hours of sleep per night can increase the risk of osteosclerosis. I love that word, a whole bunch of syllables. Up by 27%. That's a lot. That's a lot. You do not want the insides of your blood vessels to get scarred. That scarification, your body trying to heal itself, it'll make it stiff. Once again, if you look at older people, what do they look like? They look like they're stiff. So that's the thing to be concerned about. And the next thing, of course, is exercise. Exercise is by far the king of blood flow for a bunch of obvious reasons, because it actually forces you to breathe harder. Remember, we talked about breathing to begin with. So if you're exercising, is forcing your body to pump blood to your lungs are moving. Everything is moving. This is a good thing. So movement moves blood. Consistency is the most important type of exercise. A lot of times people are like, "What's the best exercise for me to do for my erections or for my blood flow?" It's the exercise, as long as you're consistent with it. And it always depends on what your goal is. Some people are like, well, I want to, if you're trying to get a six pack, you're trying to get, muscular and everything like that, that's a particular type of exercise. If you're trying to just have more stamina, endurance, there's long distance running, not necessarily the greatest thing for your testosterone, but, there's that movement there. As long as you are consistent and it's going towards your goals. If your goal is to have better erections, then one thing you need to do is do high intensity interval training. That's where you're like on for 30 seconds, off for 30 seconds. You can play around with those numbers, but your intensity is there. You get your blood pumping, and it causes change. That's what we want to have happen. If you're stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again, you do need to change up stuff. Let me be very clear. We want you to be consistent, but you have to take care of your entire body. The way that I work out is a three-pronged approach, I guess you would say. I do high intensity interval training. I also do weightlifting, basically body weight training, push-ups, pull-ups, dips, things of that nature. And then I have a day of sort of rest where I'm focusing in on walking. And so I'm giving my body a break. So you can mix it up, but as long as you're moving and you're consistent, that's good. I also do yoga. Yoga is a great exercise. Guys, do not sleep on yoga, especially as you get older. I remember back in the day, I would see some older dudes walking with the women folk, and they got the yoga mat. I'm like, look at these suckers here. They ain't going around with the yoga mat. And they're like, yeah, you get older, you better get that yoga mat, or you're gonna get stiff. And I already played that game a good 5 years ago. I just let my body go. Wasn't really doing anything. Man, I appreciate being able to get up out of bed and just walk. Because I was at a point where I was getting out of bed and it was stuck. It was like my D was like, let's see what you ate yesterday. Oh, you ate something you weren't supposed to eat? You ain't getting any water? There's no circulation in your leg, man. It's pain. It's pain. So, yeah, you want to get that yoga in because it helps with circulation and it gets the oxygen to the blood cells. That's the main thing. And all that twisting, when you're doing certain twisting exercise, you're actually twisting your core, you're twisting your intestines. That's helping out a lot with other things that need to happen. Your body is designed to move. It's designed to twist. Okay. Yeah, and it helps, especially certain positions like a downward dog, we call inversions. It's like you're actually moving blood to your brain. Obviously, we're typically in this head up top, going at, but when you're in a downward dog, things of that nature, standing on your head, you're getting more blood flow to your brain. All of that counts. All right. Now, all right. Isaac got another great question. Man, I love it. I love it. I'm going to get to you right quick, sir. Let me just blaze through the rest of this 11 here. So, muscle relaxation. When you're stressed, your muscles get tense. What is your muscle made of? Water. So you're stuck. So you need to get that blood flow going. So you need to loosen them up. You can, once again, do that yoga, taking a hot bath, or even a cold shower. That is going to, you would think that a hot bath is going to move your blood. With a cold shower, or ice bath, will that move your blood? Initially, yes. Don't sit there and get hypothermia. That's the opposite. But for a short period of time, your body has to adjust to that, and so it's going to start. If you get into a cold shower, that first hop into a pool, and that water hits you. What's the first thing? Yeah, your body starts shaking. It's trying to adapt. It's actually blood flow. Yep. one of the things that people do need to do is actually take a break, sir. You, sir, the one that's always working. I need for you to, for you to go ahead and take that break because we're talking about stress. That cortisol is tightening you up. It's sending blood to your brain so you can think your way out of whatever situation you are in, but it's also causing other issues. So you can do things like meditation, prayer, get some calm music. And when I say calm music, I don't mean like I grew up with the hippity hop. I used to be a rapper. We won't even get into that. But but when it comes down to it, if you're listening to stressful music, you're looking at stressful things. I mean, you can look at Game of Thrones and watch 10 killings in an hour. That is not relaxation. Your body's like, what? Did somebody else just get killed? It's a level of stress. We're not aware of it. But imagine the first time if you were a kid and you walked in on, somebody getting beheaded. Yeah, your body's still doing that. It's just your brain is like, oh yeah, it's all good. It's on the TV. It's over there. But yeah, you need to be careful with that. And just go ahead and take a quick vacation. Take a vacay. Do an Airbnb. Grab the lady. I don't care if you're staying in the same city and you just going to another place just for change the environment, get out of that rut so you can relax. Massage, even the ones you have to pay for. Legal ones, sir. You want a professional. I mean, it's good to have, your honey come over. She can do some things like that, but don't have her doing deep tissue massages or stuff like that because you can actually cause some serious damage if you don't know what you're doing. And it's good for your tissues and especially for your lymphatic system. So your lymphatic system is the system that has all the bad stuff to get rid of things in your body. It goes through the lymphatic system. It's all throughout your body, and it's getting rid of the waste. And massages help drain that. It helps the process of getting rid of not only stress but the waste that comes along with that stress. All right. And last but not least, smoking. Doesn't matter what you're smoking. It's still going to cause some issues. So whether it's electronic cigarettes, stogies, smokeless tobacco, and the weed, yeah, it's going to cause problems. So the reason why it causes problems is because it harms the walls of your arteries. Obviously, it's going to cause some issues with your lungs, and it also thickens up your blood. So I often get that question about weed because it's like it's an enhancer. It can make you feel better, but if you already have problems, that's going to add another problem to it. So you can feel better and not have an erection. So be careful of what you do. So just to go through this right quick, guys. So the vital 11-4 blood flow, deep breathing, fluid intake, get that water, eating well, of course. You want the herbs. You want to be able to get good sleep. Of course, your exercises in there, and what type of exercises, including yoga in that. And you want muscle relaxation. I mean, not only muscle relaxation, but brain relaxation. So take a break. Get a massage. Take a break. Take a vacation. In fact, get a massage while on vacation. That'd be great. And of course, smoking is an issue. So, for those guys who just joined, this is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is GoodWood University. This is what we do. We talk about how guys can get better sexually with their sexual health, with their sexual performances. If you have any questions, go ahead and put that in the comment section. I'm about to get over to those questions right now. I love doing this part right here. Of course, help me out. Help a brother. Help an uncle out. Go to the comment section. If you leave a comment, that helps. If you subscribe, of course, hit the notification bell, of course. Just show up. I appreciate you, everybody who is in attendance as always. And oh yeah, by the way, one of the things that we have going on is this is the 25th anniversary of GoodWood. I've been doing this for 25 years. Long time, but good time. I think I've extended my life by a good 25 years just by the knowledge that I have, and hopefully I can extend that onto you, so you can extend that onto your family. We can all live a much longer life. But GoodWood is an all-natural liquid aphrodisiac. We also have GoodWood Advanced for guys who are older. We added in stinging nettle, which has been shown by NIH and studies to actually stop the process of testosterone turning into estrogen through a process called aromatase. So stinging nettle will actually help you keep your testosterone. GoodWood will help you get testosterone. The stinging nettle in GoodWood for GoodWood Advanced will help you keep that testosterone. Got it? Yeah. So go ahead use that coupon code SWEET25th, and you can go ahead and take 25% off of your purchase. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of these questions that we got here. Answer that question on bottled water. Yep. All right. All right, just in sports. This one is a little bit deeper, so I wanted to take my time on this. I'm dealing with testicular tenderness, having a hernia. Oh, what? Any idea if there's a relation there? Hasn't gone away even after the repair. I'm assuming you're talking about surgery. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're dealing with surgery, especially in your nether regions, having a hernia, you're talking about nerve endings. And nerve endings, everything's associated with everything else. When we're talking about you know our, our, testicles, when you're talking about your Johnson, I mean it's in the middle of your body. So there's a lot of things that are connected to that because just the main reason why you're supposed to be here on the earth is to go forth and multiply. So if you're having problems in one part of your body, it can show up in your in there. So the question I would have, and this is the reason why I wish we could do this the call right now. Guys, just letting you know, we're trying to turn this into a call-in show so I can actually have good conversations with you. And because this is the best way to learn, we probably have to switch up platforms for all of that to work. Just having huge issues with that. But yeah, this is sort of, we talked about this with prostate cancer and prostate surgery. When it comes to the nerve endings, it just takes time for it to repair. It depends on the type of surgery that you had. So, yeah, there is a relation, but we're talking about your entire body, so you just basically need to heal up before those things. And also, that could be a blood flow issue too if you're having tenderness. So, anytime I join me in the watermelon competition, the watermelon challenge. That's what I'm doing. The more watermelon just has like 90% water, as I mentioned before, and so you want as much blood flow. That's going to help with the repair as much as possible. All right. Hope that answers your question there, sir. All right. Joel Davis from Mississippi. What's going on, sir? What can I eat for protein to replace meat? Okay. So there are those products. We got Impossible Meat. We got Beyond Meat. There's a bunch of other different meat substitutes. The issue with those is, is two pronged. I would say this: it's better than actually having the meat, but it's just a step or two below that. I mean, we're just used to it. That's the reason why you're looking for a substitute. We're used to the hamburgers, the hot dogs. Everything has freaking meat in it. But my goal with most guys, when I start coaching them, when I do coaching, it's like, hey, I need for you to step away from it. You're just used to it. It's not only psychological, but also you have to understand that in your stomach is your first brain, second brain, however you want to say it. I mean, think about a baby. I had my actual nephew when I was babysitting him when he was a kid. My man was going around on the carpet, just taking carpet, sticking it in his mouth. I was like, hold up, what is this boy retarded? Something wrong. Something's wrong. The thing that was wrong was just that his stomach was telling him what to do. That's the reason why they call it the first stomach and later on second stomach. But your stomach is giving signals up to your brain on what to eat. It can't see, it doesn't care. It just knows that it wants to eat. So training your stomach to move away from certain foods is important because basically you have a ton of bacteria, fungi, your gut microbiome. That's literally you keep feeding it. I don't care what you feed. And I used to feed it oatmeal cream pies when I was a kid, and so later on, you're trying to stop eating the oatmeal cream pies, but you built up a nation of bacteria, trillions and trillions of bacteria, fungi, all the stuff that is like it was born off of that oatmeal cream pie, and it's like, hey, I'm sending a signal up. Whether this is a good thing to eat or a bad thing to eat, those cells don't care. They just know what they want. And so when you're eating meat, you have to start stepping away from it. And so getting a plant-based substitute is a good first step, very good first step. But you can move your way further and further away from it. The ideal is to get to plant-based. And for when I'm saying plant-based, I mean just plants. Just plants, period. I know this is a hard concept for a lot of us to understand, but you have to think of it this way. It was literally impossible to eat as much meat as we eat right now. Literally. I'm talking about a good 70 years ago, it was difficult. 80 years ago, ridiculous. Over 100 years ago, oh my goodness. It was like, yeah, there was no surf and turf. It was like you either get the cow, you want to get the lobster. One or the other. They weren't like in refrigerators, at the local whatever, and you could just pull them out and just eat it. It wasn't as easy. If you did something like that, you spending a lot of money. So you have to be very careful with that. All right. So yeah, go ahead with that. Train yourself to get off of it, and yeah, those are the type of meats. Go into I go into in fact, I got some plant-based nuggets in the fridge, in the freezer actually. But it's just it's chicken nuggets. I'm just used to it. It's just something that I'll just consume. But my goal is to get to a point where it's like I'm mostly plant-based. Right now, I'm like 60-70%, just plant. I've been at 80%, and I actually prefer that. And now that I had that good feeling from that watermelon, I'm going to be incorporating that a lot more into it. So I'm going further up. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Look, my man Judah, what's going on with you, sir? 2 gallons of water a day, you will feel 18. Okay. Yeah. Just a couple of quick notes, though. You want to be as good with your water as possible. Whatever. So be careful with the source of it. Let's just say that. I did a video about this. It's been a while for this particular video, but there's actually ratings for the different waters. So there's purified water, there's the natural water, there's spring water. All of these have different ratings. Spring water actually has to come from the spring. Different waters like Aquafina from Coca-Cola, that's just regular water that they just tap. They just cleaned up some tap water and gave it to you. So you have to be very careful with that. All right. You are welcome, Justin Sports. All right. Uh-huh. All right, Isaac. Will you ever come out with a meal plan, and can GoodWood increase the manhood over time? Also, do you use other aphrodisiac products besides your own? All right. Great questions. Will you ever come out with a meal plan? We actually do have a meal plan. I don't have it available right now, but we do have GoodWood University. Where we have a whole bunch of information in there. We're about to, for people who have, we typically just reserve that for people who purchase GoodWood. If you don't have that, Isaac, let me know access to that. We're having some hiccups with that, but the point being that yes, we have a meal plan in there, and it's plant-based. It's mostly plants. Good 70%, I would say, easily. Uh-huh. All right. Clean the plate, Jane. Man, thank you, sir. And clean the plate and dropped in $5. I really do appreciate that. That helps out a lot. Enjoy the appreciation. I love doing this, and I love money too. So thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Odessa says, I eat only fish. Is that good enough? Okay. The issue with fish is the source. It really is the source because because of what we've been doing with our oceans, just about all fishes have issues. And when you say fish, it's sort of like saying you eat animal. There's a lot of different types of animals. There's even more types of fish. So you have to be a little bit clearer on that. Things like you have to be very careful are tilapia and salmon. Salmon. If you're getting those from, look on the package. If it says wild caught, that's better. If it's the farm raised, that's not good at all. Farm raised is sort of like the equivalent of how they treat the cows and the pigs. It's just, it's a farm. It's just all they do is just raise this one particular type of animal. Same thing with tilapia and salmon. This is so crazy. They did this with salmon. They did farm raising of salmon, and they were like, okay, we have a lot of it. Why don't we put it out back out into the sea so that salmon would, repopulate and everything. The salmon from the farm caught, yeah, they went out to the sea and started eating the natural salmon. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's just crazy. That is insane. But yeah, be very careful with the source of it. And it's still, some people will say that fish is better. Once again, there's a huge difference between salmon, tilapia, tuna. If you're getting like tuna fish out of the can, it has a lot of salt in it typically. Um, if it's been, a lot of times you get to, like, tuna has to be frozen as soon as it comes out of the water because it dies immediately. So it's a weird thing. But yeah, if you're getting it frozen, it's been, or some other level of processing, then it just keeps taking it away. I mean, literally, unless you live by the ocean, you're going out fishing yourself. Is something to think about. Uh huh. You don't eat farm fish. Good deal. Good deal. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. And yeah, you got it, Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Uh huh. So yeah, there we go, guys. Let me see. I'm trying to see if we have any questions that I missed. hmm Yeah, yeah. I do want to let you know that we do have coaching. If you do want to get the coaching part, I think is really important. Let me break it down for you. A lot of times, what ends up happening, I've noticed because I've been doing this for a long time, it's like I'll talk to guys, they'll start the process, and literally this just happened on Saturday. Reason why I want to have these calling shows. I was talking to a gentleman, a police officer, and I was talking to a gentleman who was a police officer, and he had been listening to my podcast, been listening to the shows, everything like that. Took it to heart. He dropped from 285 to 220 at 5'11". That's good. He trains as a boxer and everything like that. So everything else is working for him, except and he had diabetes. And the issue of having an ED has been going on for like 3 years, and it's like, okay, what's going on? So obviously, with the diabetes, 50% of men with diabetes, over 50% of men with diabetes have low testosterone. So we are talking about getting his testosterone checked. That's an easy one to think through, but it was lifestyle that was really holding him back. He was doing all the right things, but he was still at a four out of 10. So that means that a 10 means everything works. One means to go to the hospital. 5, 6, 7 means you're unreliable. A 4 means you're just in ED land. And so for him, the issue was that he worked the third shift, so he was working between 12 and 7. I believe that's 11 and 7. And so for 20 years. And so he's been missing the regular sleep cycle. And so that's what coaching is about. It's about identifying the small things you can do. A lot of times it's small things. So we talked about what he can do in order to get his health back in terms of, like, things you need to pay attention to if you work the night shift. Also recognizing that you need to stop working the night shift because that can be an ongoing issue. No, can be. It is an ongoing issue. The World Health Organization calls night shift work carcinogenic, as in you can get cancer from it, because basically when you sleep, your cancer cells go down, and your immune system goes up if you're sleeping over 4 or 5 hours. So that was a huge one. We talk about sleep is an issue. Things as small as I had a guy who was doing fasting, and he was fasting, and long fast. I mean, it was like 40. I think he did 40 days. Dropped a bunch of weight and everything like that. That was all good until I asked him the question, "Did you brush your teeth?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "With what?" And he said, toothpaste. Like, you broke your fast every day. Yeah. All that hard work, and he broke his fast every day that he was doing it. Why? Because when you are, the toothbrush, that toothpaste, when you put it into your mouth, as soon as you touch something that's sweet, your body's like, it switches off from, I'm going to consume all the dead cells, all the great stuff that happens when you're fasting, getting rid of the cancer cells, all the other cells that you're not even aware of, the used cells, et cetera, et cetera. But as soon as you get sugar in your system, it turns it off. Sugar breaks your fast. That's the reason why when we talk about going on a fast, it's like, black coffee, no sugar, no cream. If you're going to drink tea, you have to make sure it's unsweetened tea. Even, if they have some like, oh, this is apple fruit tea. Nope, nope, no apple, no nothing. You just want straight herbs, because any level of sweetness is going to trigger your glucose reaction. It's like, oh, it's sugar, because your body wants sugar. It's an energy source. So it's like, okay, as soon as I get sugar, I'm going to stop consuming the dead cells, all the things that's autophagy, all the great things that happen during a fast, and we're just going to switch over to, oh yeah, it's sugar. All right, we switch back over to the sugar. Let's go ahead, liver. You calm down. We're going to go ahead and spike up the sugar, and it's going to go. The glucose is going to start circulating through the body. We're going to be using glucose instead of the disc, because your body doesn't want to be in a fasted state, but it actually needs to be in a fasted state to heal. All right. Yeah, Odessa says, I don't eat canned food. Good. That's a good one. That's a good. So yeah. So there we go, guys. Please, if you got any questions, go ahead and hit me up right now, because this always happens. If you're like, I'm shutting everything down, and that one last question, and typically it's a great question, kicks in. So I want to make sure that I get you taken care of. Also, remember, once again, to go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, so we can get some more of this information to you. We do have our 25th anniversary with GoodWood, so you can go to givegoodwood.com, take 25% off a bottle there. So there we go. Let's see. Is there anything else? Let me see that I can touch on for this particular subject, because and what I was talking about earlier on about watermelon and doing a watermelon challenge, I'm dead serious. There are some things that, for me, the way that you get out of the situation that you're in, the way that you get out of sexual health issues, period, is all about your habits. It's all about your patterns. When I do coaching, I'm trying to figure out the pattern, the daily, I guess you call it micro patterns, and the macro patterns. So like the basketball coach who suddenly had to do summer school, and it just messed everything up because, he was no longer out in the sun. He had an extra level of stress, family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all of a sudden he wasn't functioning correctly. That's a macro. A micro could be like, well, I'm doing a fast, or I'm doing intermittent fasting, but I'm brushing my teeth. You can use baking soda. You can do some other techniques. But if you're brushing your teeth with something sugary, it's breaking your fast. So you need to know those type of things. So it's all about your patterns. So guys, if you're having issues, the first thing, if someone says, oh, I don't feel well today, what did you eat? What was your sleep like? When was the last time you exercised? When was the last time you had a bowel movement? All those different questions will lead you to the right answers. That's why I do coaching, and that's why coaching works. So if you need coaching, let me know. So there we go, guys. We are coming up on an hour now. If you don't have any questions, that is all good. What I want to do is just let you know that we will be doing this a lot more often. In the evening times, it seems to work for a lot more guys. And so we want to keep that going. Please spread the word. We need more guys to be as healthy as possible. I really do appreciate you. So just letting you know, I'm about to hop off of here in a second. If you have any other questions, let me know. But once again, I want to thank all the people that came through. Judah, Justin Sports, Clean the Plate, James. Thanks for that. Thanks for the dollars, man. Thanks for the love. Appreciate you, sir. Odessa, great questions. J10H, good to see you again, sir. Joe Cuffy, Trinidad is in the house. David, Isaac, great questions. What's going on with you, Dan? So appreciate all of you. I'm about to go ahead and do what I talk about doing, which is going to sleep, sirs. Going to sleep. So, once again, this is Brian, aka OB. Thank you very much for joining us. See you next time. Until then, get your game up and go hard. Peace out.